What's up guys, welcome back. OCG Metagame Breakdown, end of July, half of July 2019. Let's take a look right in the new OCG format, first month if I'm not mistaken. The last OCG Metagame Breakdown is from, I think, already 3 weeks ago. The third report here on Road of the King. All sources again will be in the video description. Again, Road of the King ready for duel as well. I think I'll launch your store also, you know, for the deck pictures, like always. So for more information, please check those out, right? So the third report, a couple of weeks already into the new OCG format, and again, like always, a couple of things caught my attention, quite important for us TCG players as well, since it could hint something for, you know, the upcoming TCG format within the next couple of months by the time we get these new cards. And a couple of new cards, they have been very important for the OCG format, so let's take a look, right? Two new releases being a new 10-yi monster, 10-yi master of the Dragon Fist. It's a V-Jump promo from September, but not really sure if it's that important. There's one 10-yi list within the next couple of moments, and Binary Blader as well, but not really sure about their impact, probably not that big. This is a current breakdown, and as we have seen from a couple of weeks ago from my last video, I think the most notable thing to note from that is Dragon Link. Dragon Link being back then the most represented deck, but the difference between Dragon Link back then and the other decks like Salamangreat, Sky Striker, Thunder Dragons and the other decks, the difference was not that big. But now, a couple of weeks into the new OCG format, we clearly see that Dragon Link currently is the deck to beat. Dragon Link sitting at about 28.6%. That's huge, right? That's like indeed double compared to Salamangreat and the other decks, Sky Strikers, Thunder Dragons, Orcust, etc, etc. So very interesting. What is the cause of this? Like why is this, right? And you will see it in the lists, is that this deck, Guard Dragons, well, it's basically Guard Dragon deck. There's a problem. There is definitely a big problem. Not for the OCG, not only for the OCG, but for us as well. So anyway, two lists here featured on Road of the King. The first list went 9-0, being the 40 or 42 card, well, basically 40 card variant in the tournament, having I think indeed over 100 participants. Most notable here is that main decking, or the small change compared to the Dragon Link builds that were being ran a couple of weeks ago. It's an early format. Those were running the new Crossout card. I believe it's a V-Jump promo, basically an extra copy of Call by the Grave if you happen to start the game. But this player opted to main deck the Gamma, the Ciphering Gamma in the main deck over the new Crossout card. But again, if you see the list, it's basically Guard Dragon deck, right? With the triple Wyvern Burst Star, Collapse Serpent as well, the one of Eclipse Wyvern Rip in the TCG, a couple of the starter slash structure deck cards from the Rockets will be released in the TCG as well. Keep an eye out for those, especially because of the Guard Dragon shenanigans. Very interesting here, and that's a new addition, is the Starliege card, the level 4 light dragon, you know, that can like search something from your deck, and very important, when it's in the graveyard, it could get something back from your graveyard. And I'm looking at something like Levianeer, and that's why I've seen a couple of builds here. Only, at least they are running only one Levianeer, and yeah, most notable because of Starliege. Starliege can just get it back from your graveyard for free, so it's actually quite of an insane card, right? That Starliege Dragon. But basically, well, it's Guard Dragon deck, right? We see it here in the extra deck. They do have Needle Fiber, and it's of course very important as well, also thanks to IP, but Gumlar Dragon banned in the TCG, but it's fine in the OCG, makes sense. Super Polymerization in the side deck is also one of those cards that it's gaining value in the OCG. Super Poly, so crucial against like Thunder, but against, like, you know, those big beatstick, vomit your entire hand to the field. The second list, we have like a 60 card variant here, also quite interesting again, with the grass looks greener. Quite interesting that card is still at 2 in the OCG, no problems here, but you know, right? You know, right? With triple, at least with the Starliege here in the main deck, same reasoning. Grass looks greener, milling your Chaos Emperor, for example, or your Levianeer, getting it back from your graveyard with Starliege, and then the full Chaos Engine. Also, yeah, the Wyvern as well. Eclipse Wyvern, yeah, whatever, right? It's again basically guard dragon dot spam. What can I say, right? It feels so strange, all of these engines slapped in one deck, and just go for your guard dragon shenanigans. Still one of the... It's indeed a very crazy deck. Secondly, Salamangreats. The big difference here that Salamangreats still have access to triple circle, while in the TCG it doesn't. So not really sure if Salamangreat is going to keep up. But a lot of traps, 9 traps here in the main deck if I'm not mistaken. So OCG players prefer running a trap-heavy build. Most notable change compared to Salamangreats, well, at least that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, is the addition of the new Link 4. You know, the Link 4 that potentially can blow up your opponent's entire field. And that can be important in, let's say, and that's also the thing that Road of the King mentions, is against Sky Strikers, something like in their sliding anti-spell fragrance, your opponent has to set the spells, and yeah, you can just blow them away with the Salamangreat Link 4, right, your Pyro Phoenix. So that's a nice addition, but the extra deck is quite packed here for Salamangreat, so no Abyss Dweller. But yeah, then again, well, Orcust has been pretty much vanished from the OCG. So the hit on Mermaid, too big, and that's also one of those differences between the TCG as well. For Sky Strikers, not too many changes, right? The triple upstart here in the main deck. Triple multi-roll again must be nice. The only thing we see here from this particular build going 6-1-1 is the addition of Cypher and Gamma in the side deck over Lancia, because the Gamma feels a little bit more versatile compared to the Lancia. So that's why, because of the super packed side deck indeed, is Gamma. Gamma is preferred over Lancia against something like Thunder Dragon, of course, right? But still, both are still very popular choices against something like, well, let's say Thunder Dragon. Speaking of Thunder Dragon, they don't have dangers yet, but I think they're getting it really soon, as we have seen pictures popping up. But most notable here, it's basically, you know, the pure Thunder, no battery man, but running the Wolf, the, what is it called, Aloof Lupin. But yeah, most notable, triple skill drain, and I believe, yeah, that the skill drain is one of those cards that still makes this deck somewhat competitive in the OCG. Triple skill drain, prevent your opponent from using their monster effects, right? But yeah, pure Thunders, and again, super polymerization, and that's something that Road of the King mentioned, is that the double super polymerization being so crucial here in these matchups. But yeah, for the rest, we see indeed that a Guard Dragon Link deck. Dragon Link is the deck to beat currently in the OCG. Some extra lists, we see Pendulums here. Not really sure if this particular Pendulum list is better compared to us TCG list, which is of course currently heavily based on Guard Dragons, right? Like 40, 50 cards or whatever. Unless you're Trev running 60 card Pendulums, but with the Odd Eyes Revolution not available in the TCG, the one of Astrograph, the one of Chronograph, I believe both are at one in the OCG, the one of Joker as well, so some differences, right? Some differences between TCG and OCG, but not really sure which build is going to be better. We see Marine Cess with, I believe, most support. Very interesting here, if you look at the main deck, the 9 monsters, very staple to the engine of the Marine Cess cards, right? The field spell as well that lets you equip, but as for the rest, the trap card indeed definitely a staple at 3, since you want to protect your caster, right? That's the Marine Cess strategy. You go for your big link and protect your castle and hope you can excavate your Marine Cess cards with your, I believe your level 4 has the ability to excavate something when it's sent to the graveyard, and very notable here in the extra deck, and that's what I saw from playing with Marine Cess as well some time ago, is the extra deck is so packed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this player was running their Link 4, what is it called? Is it Wonder Heart and Crystal Heart? I believe those are the names to make your monster in the extra deck zone like unaffected, but you know, there is still something like Kaijus that can easily get rid of it, so not really sure if you want to dedicate some extra deck space for that. I don't think so. The double Prankotops in the main deck, and I believe the level 4 water monster here is called, is it Silent Angler? It's basically, you know, just an extra water monster on the field to potentially opening up those extra deck plays, right? Your Link plays no Frog Engine, that's interesting, no Frog Engine. And then we see Hakai Evil Eye, but yeah, Hakai is such a cool archetype, giving the ability that you can play during your opponent's turn, I believe Link during your opponent's turn as well, but it's still very vulnerable, but it's a cool archetype. Interesting to see if they're getting more support in the future, but combining them with Evil Eye, I guess why, right? You want to destroy your own stuff, stuff. So yeah, I guess that's cool, but they are falling a little bit short here, Hakai. But again, anxiously seeing if they're getting more support in the future. And then last but not least, we have Tenyi's, also one of those archetypes that it's definitely a very fun archetype. This player decided to combine them with Invoked, but same for the TCG. I don't think we'll be seeing them competitive, at least in competitive play. Maybe the, what is it called, the Vishuda? Or, yeah, you know, is it level 7 or level 8? You know, the Compulse. It's basically a Compulse, so here in the TCG, I believe we got that as well during the sneak peeks now this weekend or past weekend, so it's definitely a card we might see popping up in the TCG as well, since it's quite solid and definitely opens up the Orcust place that we still have here in the TCG. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.